Lysine is really great at pushing calcium back down to the tissue level. It's one of the most popular remedies for cold sores. And it's not that lysine is some magical remedy for a cold sore. It's just that when you understand the actual cause of a cold sore, now you understand why lysine can be beneficial. It helps push the calcium back where it's supposed to be and allow the immune system to function and keep that virus under control. So we hear about people taking like 1,000 milligrams of lysine 3 times a day, maybe once with each meal, in order to get a cold sore under control. Now, if you're just trying to keep a cold sore from showing up, you certainly don't need to use that much. You can probably use a whole lot less during those circumstances. I like to see people not even use any, really, unless they're in a situation where they feel like, oh, I'm doing some of these things that could pull calcium out of the tissues or raise my urine pH, and I should probably use some lysine this week just to make sure that I don't set myself up for a breakout. Now, another thing that can help are omega-3 fatty acids. These kind of can help push calcium back to the tissue level as well. And I prefer to see people use like olive oil that has a good mixture of different fatty acids in there and not so many of these omega-3 type fatty acids. The fatty acids are really not as beneficial as most people think, and there's a lot of people with specific imbalances that fatty acids and omega-3 fatty acids can really magnify that problem for them. Just know that they can be beneficial to getting that calcium back down to the tissue level, but it's not something that I feel like everybody should use. I feel like more people should focus more on lysine than fatty acids. Just know that it's something that could help out, and if you find that you're getting a lot of them and maybe the lysine isn't enough, then maybe adding some olive oil into your diet can be beneficial. Just don't cook with the olive oil. You never want to cook olive oil because heating it can turn those fats into toxic fats. Another thing that you can do if you're having a lot of cold sores is look at the amount of carbohydrates that you're eating. One thing I like to see people do is include some what we call medium carb foods. Foods that include the carbs that you might need to function, but the carbs are not so high that they're going to create this huge blood sugar spike and really pull a lot of calcium out of the tissues. So medium carb foods would include things like, butternut squash or sweet potatoes or maybe some Brussels sprouts. These are real food sources of carbohydrates that are not so high like, bread or potatoes or pasta or rice or those kind of things. So a lot of people will sort of gravitate more towards eating more carbs because they don't have the ability to properly break down proteins and fats. And if they eat too much proteins or fats, they kind of feel lousy and they're like, well, I'll just eat these carbs and I feel a lot better then, because it's easier to digest carbs. So if you're having any kind of digestive symptoms, that can be a strong sign that maybe you don't have the ability to break down proteins and fats and that you need those carbs a little bit more. So if you can take steps to improve your digestion, then all of a sudden you don't need so many carbs and you can stop pulling all this calcium out of your tissues.